OET Reading Part B might seem easy. It's only short texts and 6 questions. But many healthcare professionals fail Part B without realizing why. Today, I'll reveal the top 3 mistakes candidates make in Part B and show you exactly what to do instead so you can pass your exam with confidence. Let's just do a quick overview of Part B. There are 6 workplace-related texts. These could be policy guidelines, emails, or staff updates. There will be 1 multiple-choice question per text with 3 possible answer options. This part of the exam tests your ability to understand key messages and specific details so that you can process real workplace communication quickly and effectively. So let's take a look at mistake number 1, which is ignoring the purpose of the text. Many students focus on small details, but they miss the overall purpose. Remember, some of the questions will require you to read and understand the text as a whole and to identify what the purpose is. So if you get a question that says, "What's the purpose of this memo?" make sure you don't pick an answer option that deals with just one specific detail. Rather, you need to choose the option that deals with the text as a whole. Let's look at an example. So this question is asking us to identify the purpose of the extract. Now, if you take a look at this text, we have a distractor here. And if we take a look at option A, it also mentions patient satisfaction. However, that is just one small part of this text. We're looking for the purpose, not a specific detail. So if we focus on the text as a whole, we can see that it's actually talking about the reasons why patients report dissatisfaction. So if we read the entire text as a whole, it will lead us to choose option B as the correct answer. So how can you avoid this mistake? Look out for the questions that ask for the purpose of the text. If it's asking for the purpose, it means you need to understand the text as a whole and you're not picking out specific details. So be very careful and watch out for those distractors. Moving on to mistake number 2, which is only looking to match keywords, not true meaning. Many candidates will identify keywords in the answer options and then scan through the text to try and find matching keywords. They will then choose their answer based on this match. But remember that OET uses distractors. This is where there are words or phrases from the answer options that appear in the text, but they're there to distract you, and they do not actually indicate the correct answer. Let's take a look at an example. Let's look at question number 2. The notice states that home care hygiene facilities are usually unsatisfactory, should only be used if clean, should be avoided in favor of alcohol gel. Now, if we identify the key words and simply scan through the text, we can actually find that alcohol gel is mentioned. However, if we read the sentence more carefully, we can see that this doesn't match the meaning fully of option C. Instead, we need to be more careful because that was a distractor. Reading the text more carefully now points us towards option B as the answer. You can see here that it is very important that you do read the text for detail to make sure you don't get caught out like this. Remember, the examiners are testing your understanding, not simply your scanning skills. So while it's good to identify keywords in the question, simply matching them up with the same keywords in the text is not going to always get you the correct answer. So make sure you always read the detail. Mistake number 3 is rushing and missing important details. The texts for Part B are short, but that doesn't mean they should be rushed or read too quickly. Sometimes getting the answer right can depend on understanding an important and sometimes subtle detail. You should pay attention to things like time frames, exceptions, or obligations. For example, seeing the difference between must or might. Let's take a look at an example. Let's look at question number 3. The manual advises that. Now we're going to read very carefully to make sure we don't miss any important details. It says here, in order to manage pain effectively, it must first be properly assessed. Okay, so we're assessing the pain first. Later in the text it says, to ensure that patients' needs are being met, pain should be reassessed after each intervention in order to determine the effectiveness. Okay, now if we didn't read the text carefully, we might have missed that second point about pain being reassessed, so we wouldn't have got the correct answer. But because we read carefully, we know that the answer was C. Pain assessment needs to take place both before and after. So you can see here that it's very important to read the entire text carefully so you don't miss important details. So let's recap those 3 big mistakes. Number 1, ignoring the purpose of the text. Number 2, relying too much on keywords. And number 3, reading too quickly and missing important details. Now you know the mistakes, let's look at how to practice Part B the right way. First, you should make sure you always practice with authentic OET exams under timed conditions so you can simulate the exam environment. Train your eye to spot small words that can change meaning, such as may, might, or words like most, many, or some. These words can often change which answer option is correct. Before you choose an answer, ask yourself, does the text fully support this? Are there any answer options that I can eliminate? Check that you're not falling for a distractor or that you haven't simply chosen an answer based on matching keywords. And finally, make sure you're always getting help and support from an expert OET teacher who can give you feedback and help you spot where you're making mistakes. Expert support can really make all the difference. At Swoosh English, we have trained teachers who are there to help you identify your mistakes, show you where you're going wrong, and then give you a structured study plan for how to improve. If you're looking to pass the OET exam as quickly as possible, getting one-on-one support from a teacher can make all the difference. So if you're ready to avoid making those mistakes that common OET candidates often make, which can lead them to fail their exam, then why not book a free consultation with our student success team at Swoosh English? In that call, they'll help you to identify where you might be going wrong and build a personalized study plan to help you pass your exam on the next attempt. To book that call today, click the link in the description below this video. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. Happy studying!